Alrighty. Hello everyone, we are live, coming to you on Thursday night. My name is Liz, welcome to Inspirational Thursday. I am super excited to be crafting with you guys tonight, and I have some really fun card ideas using some Simon Hurley Neon Lunar Paste this evening. If you haven't gathered already, I'm a little obsessed with his stuff, and I'm super excited to play around with it tonight. So thanks for joining. Alrighty. So ideally, we're going to try to make 3 cards tonight. I might lose my voice by the end of it, but fingers crossed. I think we'll have a good time. Okay. So I'm just going to move that off to the side. Hi Sandra. All right. Fun thing about having a toddler around, nobody is ever immune to anything in our house, and usually I'm the one who gets the sickness. So he got me again with something. It's just a cold. Don't worry too much. Okay. So the first thing I'm using in tonight's project is going to be the Simon Hurley 6x6 layering stencil set. So here we have 3 different stencils. We have a big flower, a medium flower, big flower, medium flower, and then a small flower. And together, these are going to create our card backgrounds. We also have Neon Lunar Paste in the following colors: Yellow Jacket, Hot Mess, and Tangent. I love these colors. On top of that, I have my Simon Hurley Prom Queen ink, Shooting Star, and I'm substituting the rest of the colors using the Distress Mini Ink Cubes. I'm doing the best I can to get a close enough fit. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining. So let's just hope that it goes as well as I think it will. On top of that, I'm using the Simon Hurley Paste Tool Set. So this comes with a spatula and a 2 actually large paste tools. These are great because I can actually just scrape the paste across my stencils and get really good coverage, and it's not going to take me as long as it would with just a palette knife. I'm also using this adorable stamp set. So this one is called Big Hugs, and it's really, really cute. It has a cat, a pug, and a panda bear on top of all kinds of sentiments like congratulations, sending big pug hugs, I can't wait to hug you, celebrate, smile big time, make a wish, bear hugs, XOXO, sending birthday hugs, I love you. And then there's like balloons and firecrackers or sparklers, little martini glasses, little graduate caps. So lots of fun things on this set. I'm excited. And I think that covers the main things that I'm using. So without any further ado, let's just hop right into things. So for this first card, I did go ahead and I pre-cut a card panel. So it's 3 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches. And then I took my yellow Shooting Star and I just took a blender and I just like blended along the edges. Now, if I was doing this according to the instructions, I would actually wait until everything's done and dried, but for the sake of tonight's video, I wanted to save some time. So I went ahead and just like edged a background. I tried to leave the center sort of white. So next thing I'm going to do is just decide where I want to place our stencil. I think that looks pretty good. Hi, Shirley. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. It's going to be a fun one. So now I'm going to go in with my Shooting Star Simon Hurley ink pad. And I'm just going to get some of that lovely yellow. And I'm just going to start blending it through the stencil onto this first layer of flowers. Now, anything that I do use tonight is listed on the website classac.ca. If you click on shop and then find the category Inspirational Thursday, you will see everything. I forget what I titled tonight's video, but it's all listed there. So go ahead and check that out. I believe I also listed kits for this particular video. So you guys can purchase project kits if you really love how these cards turned out, or you want to start dabbling with the Lunar paste. It's kind of a fun way to get you started, and we will include an instruction sheet as well. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. So now that I take off my first stencil, we are left with these stunning little flowers. They're so cute. The stencil sets, I will mention, they do have the stencil order. So this one is in Bloom number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and find the spot where this is going to line up. Now, if I really wanted to do it, I would line up the corner and kind of do it that way. But as many of you know, I'm a free spirit and I just wing things sometimes. So that's what we're doing. So that looks good. Next, I'm going to go in with Wild Honey. Now, if you have Simon Hurley inks, you're going to want to go in with an orange color. I think it's called Guppy. But I'm just going in with this lovely Wild Honey Distress Mini. And there we go. Don't mind my heavy breathing, guys. I'm a little under the weather, so hopefully it doesn't transfer over to the camera too much. Hi, Joanne. All right, so then when I take this second stencil off, we're looking like sunflowers almost. We're left with a really pretty sort of background. Then I'm going to go in with the In Bloom stencil number 3. That's going to sort of do the flower centers, if you will. So I'm just going to tack that down. And for this one, we're going to use our Lunar paste. So this one is called Hot Mess. And it is like the funnest neon pink color I have ever seen in my life. It takes me right back to the 90s, which is like my decade. And I'm so excited that he came out with this color palette, because who doesn't love neons? Okay, so I'm just gonna do a generous smearing across the top. Now you can always scoop it up and put it back in the container when we're done, so don't worry about the waste. Next I'm gonna go back in with my scrapey tool, or my paste tool, and I'm just gonna lightly scrape everything down. There we go. And I'm not worried if it doesn't go right the first time. I can always go back and smear things around until I'm happy with the distribution. A little more over here. I will say, on his videos, he makes this part look so effortless, but I'm pretty new with this tool. So there we have it, my excess. I'm just gonna go in with my scraper and pop it back in the jar. Okay. So, fun fact, everybody, I do not have a bucket of water to clean my stuff, so I'm just going to run to the washroom and rinse it off really quickly, because I will be using the stencil again for another card base. So bear with me, I'll be right back, but you guys can admire the final sort of product. I'll be right back. All right. So I will say, when you're crafting at home, you might be more prepared than myself, and you might have a bucket of warm soapy water, but I have a bathroom nearby, so I just went and rinsed everything, so it's good to use for our next project. So already we have created card background number 1. Carol says, I love the colors. Thank you, Carol. So do I. They're nice and bright and punchy. Looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to take this guy and I'm going to set it off to the side to dry. And meanwhile, I'm just going to use a wipe or a paper towel or Kleenex in this case, because it's the first thing I grabbed to just wipe down my craft surface. And I'm also going to wipe the excess off of my scraper tool. Now I probably should go rinse this, so once again, my apologies. I'll be right back, folks. And we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. For our next card background, I want to make all 3 backgrounds, and then I'll teach you guys how I color my little stamped images, and then I'll show you some final cards at the end. Hi, Bella. All right, so I'm just going to start off again with a blank card panel. This is Nina cardstock, or a heavyweight cardstock, in white, and I've gone ahead and trimmed this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, I believe, for this next one. Now, for this one, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I am going to set this off to the side. So for this next background, I'm going to take the largest flower of the stencil batch. Looks like this. And I'm going to take my ink pads, starting with Prom Queen. I'm just going to smear some Prom Queen ink on here. Next, I'm going to go in with my Shooting Star. I'm going to do a generous smearing of this one as well. And last but not least, for that orangey color, we're going to go in with the mini Wild Honey, or again, if you have Simon Hurley inks at home and you want to recreate these, go in with the shade Guppy, which, I mean, is a little orange fish, I guess. It's the perfect name for it. So now I'm just going to wipe my background. Maybe. All right, just going to wipe off my craft surface. Okay, next we are going to take our little mini mister, which is one of these guys here, or a mini spray bottle, and we're just going to mist the stencil really lightly. I'm going to do it off camera, so don't get my space wet again. So that's just going to activate my inks. These are dye-based inks, so they do activate with water, and as you can see, I've sort of saturated the whole thing. Now I'm going to put my background here, and when I flip this over, I'm going to decide where I want to place everything, and that seems pretty good. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, excellent. So now when I peel it up, I've got this really sort of funky watercolored background that leaves a white space where the flowers would normally be stenciled. So it's sort of like reverse stenciling. I don't know if that's a term, but I'm just making it up. The names are so cool, aren't they, Bella? Shooting Star, Prom Queen, Guppy. I think he's got other fun names like, oh gosh, Wolf is one of them for his inks, and there's like a bee themed one. And now there's a wasp, which is, or yellow jacket, sorry, which is the Lunar paste neon yellow color. Traffic cone, yeah, exactly. There's one, it's like gamer something. I don't remember. Anyway, off topic. Next, I'm going to find the smallest of the flowers, which is the stencil we just rinsed off. And I'm going to place that into the center of these guys. Hang on a second. There we go. So I'm just going to line everything up pretty roughly and tack it down with my handy dandy magnets. This one got a little color on it. I'm just going to wipe that off. Okay, and now for this one, I am going to go in using all 3 colors because I used all 3 colors for the background. So I'm going to do a generous glob of yellow over here, followed by, now keep in mind when you're mixing, you won't be able to scoop them back up and pop them in. I mean, you can, you do you, but for those of you who don't like mixing, there you've been warned. So there's my orange. This one is Tangent. And last but not least, I'm going in with the Hot Mess. This beautiful pink. And doesn't that remind you of like a beautiful sunset? Okay, I'm gonna wipe down my spatula. And we're gonna go in with my large scraper. And move this magnet out of the way. Okay, so we're just gonna smooth everything down and then shift everything around a little bit just to create some funky colors, because why not? And wipe this guy off. Perfect. Okay, now for the moment of truth. This one magnet, he needs a good wash after this video. Okay, so now when I remove my stencil, we end up with like a sort of funky, vibrant, flowery background. I'm gonna leave you guys to admire this while I run and rinse my stencil again. Thank you for your patience. All right, so here we have background number 2. I like this because it actually left some areas white on the flower, which is kind of fun. Joanne commented mess. It's messy, but it's fun. All right, so I'm just drying my stencil off because we'll be using it one more time to do a 3rd background for tonight's video. Meanwhile, we're going to set background number 2 off to the side to dry. Ooh. And there we go. Very carefully. And then again, I'm just going to use a wipe and clear off my desk a little bit. So I'm using the LDRS glass craft mat. A glass craft mat of any sort will do. A non-stick mat of any sort will do. The waffle flower grip mats would be great for this project. So yes. For background number 3, I am going to use, okay, this one I'm going to confess, I cheated a little bit. I worked ahead because I made one this afternoon, and when I rushed to dry the layers, it didn't look great. So for this one, I went ahead and I used large flowers. I did them in yellow, and then I used the medium flowers and I did them in orange. And so for tonight's video, we're just going to go over them, line them up, and go over them in a pink because that's the last piece of the puzzle. So again, Gonna look for the right way to position this, which would be something like that. Hold it down so I don't lose it. And again, I'm just gonna take a generous scrape of the hot mess. You can always take your extra and put it back in the jar, so don't be afraid to use it. Just gonna wipe my scrapey thing and my magnet because whoops. And we're gonna go in with our large scrapey tool and we're just gonna recenter everything. Okay. Is good. Okay, so now we're just gonna drag the pink color down and do our best to get some good coverage. Do I think I need to add more pink? Maybe. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm gonna take another heaping scoop of pink. Target some of the areas that didn't quite make it. And scrape again. I'm always like nervous to use too much, but as I mentioned, you can always put it back in the jar, so don't be shy. Okay, so there we go. Just gonna wipe off my large scraper tool and put the cap back on here so I don't spill that. And then when I remove the stencil, voila, I leave you guys with another funky background to check out while I rinse everything down one final time. I'll be right back, folks. Okay, so now we have created 3 phenomenal backgrounds. Just gonna pick this one up and hold it up to the camera so you guys can see. Now, normally this stuff takes about 30-40 minutes to dry on its own. You can use a heat tool, but like I said, I did that earlier and I kind of feel like I rushed the process a little bit, so I'm just gonna set it off to the side and let it do its thing. Woo! Try not to drop it. Okay. Now I'm going to clean up my workspace again. I mean, it cleans off really easily, I will say. It just wipes down for the most part. Okay, so now here comes the really cute part of our cards this evening. I went ahead and I pre-stamped all of these guys. Don't mind my little scribbles over here. And so now we're going to use a watercolor brush, one of these guys, and we're going to go in with some inks just daubed on here. Maybe I'll make more room at the top for my inks. And we're just gonna do some really cute watercoloring. So I'm using the following colors: mustard seed, festive berries, wild honey, hickory smoke, black soot, and vintage photo. So these are my substitutions. I unfortunately do not have all of the colors in Simon Hurley ink, so my apologies. Okay, so all I'm gonna do to color these is stamp little swatches down of every color. Festive berries, we got wild honey, the hickory smoke. I'm gonna use a lot of that one because it's really, really cute. A little bit of black soot, because when I add water, it's going to turn gray. It's not actually going to be black. Don't let the name fool you this time. And vintage photo. Okie dokie. So now I'm going to go in. I think I'm going to start with the festive berries. And I'm just going to use my water brush, pick up a little bit of that red. And I'm going to color all of our little animals, starting with their happy little tongues. So cute. Okay, and then I'm just gonna use a little bit more of the red and do the stripes in the party hat. So the fun thing about watercoloring is like there really are no mistakes. Everything will sort of blend together. I'm gonna go in and do the candlesticks. And maybe the bottom of the cake in the red. So I did stamp these out using archival ink. I feel like that is probably one of the more permanent inks when we're talking about watercoloring. And then if you want some areas to be darker, you can just go in and darken them up a little bit, like so. Okay. Next, who am I going to color first? I'm thinking we're going to color this little cat creature. So I'm going to go in with the antique photo, or the vintage photo. And I'm just going to color his little mouth, sort of brown. And I don't know, maybe I'll do a little bit of brown for his ears too. Then I'm going to go in with the hickory smoke, which is sort of that gray color. And when I mix the two, I end up with this really funky, like, gray-brown. So I'm going to use that all down his side. If I wanted to, I could wipe my brush off in between colors, but I feel like cats generally have, like, that sort of gray-brown vibe. So that's the look we're going for. Now, here I am with a little bit of black soot. So it actually, like I said earlier, it turns into this wonderful gray color, which I'm not mad at. I'm going to do this whole eye solid. And then I'm going to just mix the three and see what we come up with and add some more colors to our kitty friend. Make him sort of funky. All right, so there we go. There's our first creature colored. Nice and quick and easy. Now I'm going to do the little pug next, and I'll be doing him using mostly the vintage photo. So I'm going to make sure I color his ear and his little face, starting at the top. And then we're going to color his arm, his paws, do a little bit of outlining. So watercoloring, like stenciling, is kind of fun because you can always go back and add more color, but you cannot take color away. So I like to color in layers when I'm watercoloring. So usually I start fairly light, and then if I want to add more color or more shading, I will go back in and do so. Smooth this piece out a little bit. And there we go. Look at how cute these guys are turning out. Okay, and last but not least, we'll do our friend the panda. And I'm going to do him using mostly grays. So that's the hickory smoke. I'm going to kind of outline his face a little bit. So he doesn't need a lot of color because he is a panda, which is a beautiful thing. Thinking maybe a little bit of this darker gray over yonder, because why not? There we go. Okay, I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead, but there's our panda friend. Yeah, it's so easy to watercolor on these guys because they're like a nice large size. Now I'm gonna use mustard seed, which is this delightful yellow color, for the other stripes on the party hat. Sorry, it's not mustard seed. It's shooting star from Simon Hurley. My apologies. Mustard seed is a great substitution. I'm also going to color the birthday cake and the flames. And then I'm going to go in with some orangey color. And I'm going to do the icing and sort of try to blend the layers together a little bit on this cake. And for the party hat, little puffy thing, I'm going to use that orange once again. So now I'm going to set these aside, let them dry. And there is a coordinating die set, but I enjoy fussy cutting. So I'm going to take my time and fussy cut these once they've dried a little bit. And I'm also going to take this little heart stamp here, and I'm going to stamp a little heart on this pug because it's just an adorable thing to do. So set that off to the side to dry. Now you guys might be wondering, oh, what happened to those beautiful card backgrounds that we made earlier? So they're starting to dry. As you can see, they're picking up like a great sort of shimmer, or they're picking up a great sort of light effect, which is cool. Then we have this background here, very cute. And last but not least, I think this one's my favorite because the neon on the black cardstock just like pops. So these guys are still gonna dry. However, I didn't want to leave you guys sort of in limbo. I wanted to show you what the final cards are gonna look like. So here we have my favorite background. And then this I did using a white embossing powder on black cardstock. It says, "I can't wait to hug you." Adorable little trash panda cat. Then we have our birthday panda. He says, "Make a wish." And I just matted these on card bases, cardstock. So there's our panda. And last but not least, our lovable little pug friend. And he says, "I love you." So I love you guys. Thanks for joining me for tonight's video. I hope you had fun. Lunar paste, neon lunar paste, it's the best. So definitely, if you haven't tried it before, I highly encourage it. It's messy, but it's fun. And you can do some really cute things with it, including making cards. If you guys are interested in picking up a kit or any of the products I used in tonight's video, go check it out, classac.ca. Click on Shop Inspirational Thursday. And I think I called this like Lunar Hugs or something. I don't remember. My brain is goo. So on that note, have a wonderful rest of your evening, wonderful rest of your week. It's a long weekend, and I will see you guys for the next one. Have a great time. Bye.